The Lifesteal SMP is Minecraft's deadliest server with some of the deadliest players. However, every member, no matter how good, has a weakness. There are 26 members of the Lifesteal SMP, so we are going to start with the obvious ones. Branzy has to be first because his weakness is simple. He sucks at PvP. He has brains, but no brawn. Bacon Waffles is also bad at PvP, and just has bad surviving skills. He isn't great at hacking and running away either. Next up is PlanetLord. If you didn't guess already, he sucks at PvP too. We also have Jaron, but he died because of pigs? Moving on to the non-PvP ones, we have the furries, starting with Woogie. Woogie has just been unpredictable. He has a lot of people who see him as neutral or as an enemy, and few that seem to ally with him. Next up we have Vitalasy, who plays the judge. He's the guy who holds the balance. This means he takes action for what he believes must be done and can be easily predicted because of his good heart. No good deed comes without consequence. ItzSubz, much like Vitalasy, is one of the few that doesn't really have an obvious weakness. More, his weakness is of his own choice. Sub is good at PvP, but chooses to be a pacifist and usually only attacks back in self-defense. Alright, next up we have the randos. Vortex is a pawn. He usually just benefits from everyone else. Terrain likes a frog. Yes, I know a frog is his weakness, it's sad. And finally, McClutch has absolutely no friends other than deception, and no one trusts him. Now talking about the villains, we have Mapicc, who very often is the villain by choice. People expect Mapicc to 1. Be a child, and 2. Cause mayhem. Roshambogames isn't much different. Ro, much like Mapicc, is one of the main antagonists of the server. He causes problems and is expected to. But last but not least, in the villain category we have ClownPierce. He's very predictable, always behaves the same. He will always eventually betray you, unless you yourself are valuable to him. Now for the who on earth are these people category, starting with Spepticle, who is lonely and extremely paranoid but not cautious. Next up is Poafa, who unfortunately gets screwed over by the people he trusts. His weakness is his good heart. Leowook is overall a good player and seems to keep his weakness to himself, which is rather ideal, although Leowook also does poorly under high stress situations. Just place him in one and you will see. Finishing off, we have Ashswag, whose ping is usually terrible and he has a disadvantage when it comes to time zones. Move on to the troublemakers, we have Spoke. Spoke is easily the most ban-worthy and is the main definition of trouble. He often gets a large group of people against him, which in a server that's all about killing isn't too great. PrinceZam isn't much better. He's always on the server and engages much more than other members, which for a server's health is ideal, but this also means he engages in battles more often, which consequently means more deaths. Now for the unfortunate. Pangi is kind of gullible and easy to have a target because he is too good-hearted. Parrot's weakness is secrets. His entire downfall is others hiding the truth and betraying him later on. Not knowing the truth kills him. MrCube is a mastermind, however, his traps often fail to a lack of time testing. MrCube also never appears as a threat, so when he does ask someone to follow him down a tunnel, people are more hesitant. Moving forward, Recrap is way too stressed. Recrap is a good player, however is always skeptical about everything. He often misses opportunities or just ends up falling for mind games because he's too much on edge. Finishing off the video, we have Reddoons, who never has time. Reddoons is good at PvP and smart, however, no one has infinite time and Reddoons doesn't use his time efficiently. He can easily be convinced to walk 5,000 blocks and end up wasting valuable time. We lastly have Midmysticx, who was by far the hardest to find a weakness for, simply because they are a genius. They also seem to be on good terms with everyone on the server. However, in the end, Midmysticx's weakness is simply PvP, like Branzy. That's everyone. However, if you are curious on how to defeat anyone on the server, just remember the rule of 3. Murder, deception, and friendship. What would your weakness be? Let me know in the comments and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.